Hey there, grade 6. New video for you guys. Again, just adding on to some stuff that we've been talking about in terms of adding and subtracting fractions. And so we're going to start just basically, the first question there is we're going to assume for a second this is pizza in each circle. And maybe what we can do is add in some pepperonis or something. I don't know, give it the idea that it's actually pizza. I would add in pineapple and ham and stuff too. I'm not quite sure how to draw all that stuff. Anyway, let's imagine that these are pizzas. These are their pepperonis, and it's delicious. How much pizza is on each plate? Well, this plate will be divided up into 4 sections, and one of those sections is shaded, so we typically say that that's 1/4. And this plate of 4 sections, 2 of those sections are colored in, so we say that that would be 2/4. If we want to add those two together, what we do is we do some regrouping and we say, well, this is 1/4 and we're going to add 2/4. And we talked last time about how we can regroup and put stuff together. And so there's that 1/4, and then I need to add in those 2/4, pardon the shoddy coloring. And so I know that I've now got 3/4 all together, right? I take my one numerator, I add it to my other numerator, and I get a new third numerator. The denominator then stays the same. So if we get rid of the pizzas and we just say, well, solve this question. I have 1/5 and I add 2 more fifths. Well, that's going to only give me 3/5. Again, denominator stays the same, numerators get added. So just a little bit extra practice. 3/5 plus 1/5, well, that's going to give us 4/5, and then 2/7 plus 3/7 is going to give us 5/7. And then even something like this, 18 over 134 plus 45 over 134 is going to give us, let's see, 63 over 134. Just because the numbers get much bigger doesn't change what they add to. Okay, same goes with subtraction. Okay, so if I have 3/4 and I take one of those quarters away, that's going to give us 2/4. And we can see that with some other questions. If we take the pizza away, if I have 7/8 and I take one of those 8ths away, then I end up with 6/8. If I have 5/6 and I take 3 of those 6ths away, I end up with 2/6. Now this one might be new, this one might look a little confusing, but here I have a fraction where the numerator is actually bigger than the denominator. Actually, both these numbers are that way. These are called improper fractions. That's where the numerator is bigger than the denominator. That's okay, we're allowed to have that. We still just do our subtraction. We have 13 minus 11, which is going to give us 2, and then the 8s stay the same. Here, 10/56 minus 7/56 gives us 3 over 56. Okay, so again, just point out these are improper fractions where the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Now, sometimes when we do our adding of fractions, we're going to get numbers that are bigger than a whole, or they're going to be an improper fraction. Because what we said was, if we have 2 fractions where the denominator is the same, you have to just add the numerators. And so that's 3 plus 2 is actually going to give us 5/4. And the way we would draw that is you're actually going to need 2 circles. Because when you do the regrouping, you have your original 3/4, and then you have to put in 2 more. So this one gets colored, but then I still have to regroup and move 1 more. So then I have to just add that in there. And so that's 5/4 colored in, but what I can say 5/4 is the same as is, since I have all of them colored in here, that's 1, and then I have 1/4 of the next one. So I would say that's 1 1/4. So 5/4 and 1 1/4, and I'll just write it up here again because it's a little easier to see. But 5/4 is the same as, or it's equal to, 1 1/4. Okay, so 3/4 plus 1/4. Actually, I'm going to change that because that's probably a typo. 3/4 plus 2/4 is 5/4. Once they've all gotten regrouped, and I did this in the last slide, it's 1 1/4. Now, here's a situation where I have an improper fraction in 5 over 4, and I have what's called a mixed number, which is a combination of a whole number and a fraction. Now, I can do this a couple of different ways. I can remember that 5/4 is the same as 1 1/4, and then add it to my other, right? Or I could even arrange it like this. If I just get rid of these ones, and I set them up like this, 2 3/4, and I should just put an addition line. 1/4 plus 3/4 is 4/4, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. But I also remember that a fraction where the numerator and the denominator are the same, where they're equal, also equals 1. So this says 3 4/4, but that actually just means 4, because I can regroup that as 1 and put that into my other whole number. So that's 4. And again, I could show that with I could show that with a diagram as well. I would need a couple, right? So here's this would be for my 5/4. I'm going to use a different color actually. So this is my 5/4, or my 1 1/4, and then I'm going to add my 2 3/4. Okay, and I'm actually going to use a different color again. So I would have 2 of them all the way colored in to show my 2 wholes. And then on this one here, I would have 3/4, or 3 of the 4 colored in, right? So here's 5/4, and this is my 2 3/4. This one you could actually say is 11/4 that are colored in. So when I put them all together, I'm going to need to do some rearranging. So I'm going to need basically all of the circles I had before. And so here's my, maybe one more, just in case. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it or not. Use my colors. So here's my original. This is what I start with. This is the 5/4. And now I'm going to start regrouping and moving over this stuff into my new drawing. So I need the 2. So here's the 2. And then for this guy, this 3/4, I can fit him over here. So now what I've done is I've rearranged and just added together my 5/4, or my 1 1/4, and my 2 3/4, and what I notice is that I got 4 circles completely colored in, and so that definitely equals 4. Lastly, just to point out, here I have a question, 3 over 5 minus 3 over 5, which gives me 0 over 5. And then this one, if I have 2 over 7, but I add 0 over 7, then I still have 2 over 7. So just to point out, if you have a fraction where the numerator is 0, then that number just represents, it just means 0, right? So 3 over 5, take away 3 over 5, just gives me 0. And this, again, 0 over 7, it just represents 0. So adding 0 to a number just leaves the same number, so 2 over 7. Anyway, that's it. Bit of a longer one today. But that's all I wanted to point out. Hope you guys have a great day. And, what you can do is work on these pages in the workbook. Yeah, thanks guys. Have a great day.